Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing good. So in this video, I want to talk about jobs, as in employment. So I want to talk about my experiences with it, what jobs I've had, and hopefully to help whoever out there, to, I guess, be like, hey, you can actually do that job or this job or this job. But yeah, let's hop into it. You can have an awesome experience with stuttering. Oh no, I don't have emotions. No, it's messy. I just want to help people. Don't let that certain small instance screw up your whole day. All right, so jobs. So I've worked at Carl's Jr., so they should have that all around the nation. So it's like, it's mainly, it's a hamburger place. It's a fast food. And there I was a cook, and I also worked up front, as in, I had to take people's orders, all that jazz right there. And I would say at that time I was like, 19, right? And I would say at first it was hard, but at the same time I was like, okay, what can I do and what can't I do? I would say can't lightly, because I've seen now certain things I'm like, but you've done that and done that, so you can't really say that. But so with that job there, it was cool, because you get like half off of food, right? Which is awesome. But for speaking ways, I would say it was cool to actually be a part of people who are doing the exact same thing you are. So you kind of know how they feel, right? And it's like, okay, awesome, right? So, me having a speech problem, there were also some people who I would say weren't as fluent, or they weren't on point on how they spoke. So I was like, hey, what's happening? Hey, so, like, that being said, all of us are in the same boat, right? So that one there. And then my next job is where I am now. I've been there for almost 18 years. Yeesh. Grocery store, right? So with that, you're exposed to so much, as in with speaking, and how certain people actually see things, just who we are as humans, right? If you have, if you got a speech problem or not, right? Certain people will do interesting things, and I'm like, who taught you what? So, I just have to kind of go back and like, so maybe that person's not taught how I was taught, right? Cool, that's how I see it now. And I'm like, oh, okay, you weren't taught how to work hard, or how to squat a certain way, how to lift a certain way, how to talk to people certain ways, because that's huge right now. And I think each person should learn how to talk to people in awesome ways. Because, yeah, you can, if you speak a certain way, or it's like, hey, you're messing, it's like, bro, you're not even in that department. You don't even have to worry about that. Chill out, because for us people who have speech problems, we get, no, I've seen stress will hinder you, right? Because you have so much happening over here, so much happening over here, and you're just like, oh, what the heck, right? So for me, I've worked days, and I've worked over nights as well. And from my experience, it destroys your body. My knees are shot, as in, because you have to bend down a lot to put things low, right? And if you're trying to put something that's heavy low, if you've kind of seen how it's set up, you want like a lot of stuff on top that are small and light, because if they fall onto somebody, it won't hurt them as bad compared to something heavy on top, right? It just makes sense. So that's a small little thing I've seen. I'm like, huh, yeah, that does make sense, right? But being at that job, you do have to speak to people every day. But with that, they're huge on they're huge on harassment. And for me, what I've learned, if somebody at work's like, bro, just say it, just like spit it out, I think that's you're being harassed, right? It's also, you know, on how you look, your age, all this kind of extras with it. So I can option there. You don't really have to speak to people as much if you don't want to. You should, because of course at stores, you know, they have food. There's a lot of people who have to eat, but there's a lot of other places that those people can eat. So they want you to say hi to people, you know, to have those people come back, right? So be open to that. And after a while, you know how to say certain things in certain ways, because you say it thousands of times a day. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Or like, you know, that I do have to speak on the phone as well. I would say, but not as much, because so, you know, so I won't try and answer the phone if there's somebody else there. I'll be like, oh, I have to go to the back. I won't try and be that first person to answer the phone, because of course you do have so many more people out there. They're like, hey, how much is this? And I'm like, it's in some cases I'm like, oh, but I'll even say some things we actually have, but hey, actually we are all out of that, you know, because at that time I can't say that certain, it was $8. It was, and of course, you know, when you work at a store, it's not always like a flat even number. It's like it's $8.99 or it's $7. You know, it's extras. You're like, bro, just say one word, not like 802.56 plus tax. You know, extra words we have to kind of say. So with that, I'm like, ooh. And of course, you do have certain people at work who are like, nah, they'll give you a hard time. And for people who don't know you, like higher ups will be like, hey, how are you? And you'll just kind of like, you'll be like stuck, and they're just like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm trying to say something, but I'm having a hard time. And they're like, oh, okay. But so here's kind of something that happened to me. I had met our new, he was kind of up there, right? And you know me, I won't say I don't have like an ego. I just know who I am. I'm like, no, you don't speak to me like that, or assume something because I have a speech problem and you aren't a person to actually see me as a person, to actually wait or ask me, right? Like about, oh, like, are you like, bro, just spit it out. And I'm like, oh, this is how you are. This is the kind of person you are. So anyways, so I would say don't do this right here. So yeah, so I had met him, you know, and you know, I was like, hey, how are you? I'm Jay. And they're like, okay, cool. How long you've been here, and you're over, where are you at, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I was having a hard time, right? And he was like, wait, hold on. He's like, do I make you feel like well, do I make you feel uneasy? And I was like, huh? And then he's like, no, because, you know, that I just was like, hey, wow, how long have you been here for? And you're just kind of like, stop, and you can't talk. And I was like, oh, and then I just, but not snapped, but I was kind of now in that the mode. I was like, oh, I'm about to show you, which I would say don't do. But so like it snapped. I was like, oh no, you don't know I have a speech. I got a speech problem. Who are you to ask that of me? As in, says I can't talk. And I was like, ooh, bad. Because yes, he does have a right, but it's how he said it. He's like, bro, you can't talk. I just asked you a simple question. And so certain things you have to be kind of, I guess, aware, right? But yeah, I got spoken to and all this kind of stuff like that. I'm like, so is this how you guys show people how to actually to speak to people and be actually open at first to kind of to know who they are as a person? Is that how you guys actually train people? They're like, oh no, each person has their own set. I'm like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. But I had to kind of come back. I'm like, yes, I have a speech problem. So again, I hope you guys learn something, hopefully, to what to do and what not to do, right? Because I'm a bit strong on who I am. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and over and out.